Khayelihle, good afternoon to you. So in handing down this judgment, what did the judge himself have to say?
Well, certainly, Jeremy, a very groundbreaking decision has been made by Judge Johnson. Essentially, Jeremy, he painted the character of the accused as a very unreliable witness, and also going through and recounting some of the key testimonies which were presented before the court, and also talking about the very fact that the whole issue, for example, of defeating the ends of justice. If Sandile did not contribute in Karabo's suicide, why did he see the need, for example, to get rid of the body? And also the judge talking about the character of the witness, that, for example, he never just seized the opportunity of testifying before the court, and stating that obviously there was no adverse finding to that effect, but to some degree, that sort of really fortified and strengthened the case of the state, given the fact that they had a number of witnesses who came before here, the South Gauteng High Court, but also, Jeremy, in terms of the reaction, the parents of Karabo Mokoena, they are right inside court. There was a very sense of relief when the judge found Sandile Mantsoe guilty, and we're still expecting to have a word or two in terms of their reaction.
The defense really got this one wrong, didn't it? Not calling any witnesses, closing its case surprisingly prematurely, suggesting that the state had not proved its case beyond reasonable doubt. That couldn't have been further from the truth.
Well, certainly, Jeremy, the judge alluded to that, saying it's greatly contributed negatively against the accused, and say if he had an opportunity to go before the stand and really to go thoroughly, because there was a time when the trial started where Sandile took the stand, but it was a matter of a certain clarity that they wanted. It was a trial within the trial with the issue of some parts of the evidence that was disputed. But for him not to seize the opportunity, for him, as they had an opportunity on Monday to do so, the judge indicated that it did not serve his case very well. But also the judge, Jeremy, going at length about some of the issues, saying that Sandile was caught up in a web of lies in terms of what he told the court. So there were a lot of instances whereby the judge showed a bit of indignation and just his intolerance in terms of what Sandile had presented before the court. So now there is a brief adjournment to allow the sentencing procedures as well. In terms of the date itself, we're expecting a postponement, as both parties have mutually agreed to that effect.
Did you have an eye on the accused when that judgment was handed down?
Well, Jeremy, he was very well composed, and it's something that we've always seen during the course of the trial, the lack of remorse from his side. And as he was going down just for this brief adjournment, he just showed his two hands up. So from his side, there was no really sense of the gravity of the case, of saying, such a very terrible crime was committed in this instance. So that's another factor that's played enormously against him. So there was no sense of remorse whatsoever.
All right, Khayelihle Khumalo at the South Gauteng High Court, thank you very much indeed.